right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the After Hours podcast. This week, it's a phenomenal pleasure to have this gentleman, Richie Hosein, on the podcast. We actually never really met in person, but I see all the stuff you're doing on the internet, and I've heard phenomenal things about you just from how much you've given back to people around us and, within Long Island and out in Manhattan. I see you do all these things and all these events, and the people you have around you in your circle, that's something that that's what I preach. The people
Wow.
around you,
Well, thank you.
having people like that in your circle. So it's a pleasure to have you sit down with me and
This is awesome.
shoot the shit for a little bit.
So excited. First off, really excited to be here. Thank you for the invite. Thank you for the hospitality.
Of course.
That's what life's about, right? How you show somebody hospitality. You and I actually never got a chance to meet officially. So this is actually our first time meeting. So
Yeah, of
the
course.
whole world is going to get a chance to see how we interact with one another.
Exactly.
Getting two people getting to know each other for the first time, which is really cool. That's a really cool experience. I'm going to try to change some things up, not in a bad way, but just in something different.
Of course.
I like being
I
creative.
like different.
I like being creative. I don't, none of the things I've done so far, knock on wood, has been scripted. It's all been off the cuff because I want to show the world this is purely who we are. This is what I'm not trying to write something down and rehearse something to you. That's for politics. We leave that to the politicians, let them write the big speeches. But Dean and I today are going to have divine conversation. So I'm so excited to get to know a young man like this that has the energy that I'm watching on what Instagram displays. Instagram doesn't always display the truth.
Right.
So, people show their best version. So we get to have some divine conversation, which is lacking right now in the world. The world we're living in right now is all on the phone. Nobody talks anymore. No one has conversation. It's quick text. It's short words. It's trying to, make things simpler, faster, quicker. And our attention spans are really getting really short.
Exactly.
So getting a chance to really get to know someone, it's a different energy.
Yeah, it kind of brings you back to like the old days where, we're on the internet. The reason why we do stuff like this is to give back to the world and show them some of the stuff that you've gone through in life, whether it's adversity or success or really anything. And, again, to be able to sit here and to connect with like-minded people and to have somebody like you on here and to have authentic conversation, like you said, is amazing. That really shows, who not you are as a person, but who we are as people, to be able to sit down and not just be on the phones. And like you said, a very important thing that I always speak about is, people just post all this stuff nowadays on social media, but is that who you really are as a person?
You don't get to know them until you get to know them.
Exactly.
And the world we're living in, people are forgetting how to have conversation and get to know one another. Yeah. Because a lot of the problems we have in the world, I think, have a lot to do with two people can't sit across from one another and talk about their differences, talk about you're allowed to like what you like, I like what I like, I have respect for that. Right. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm really selfish. I'm going to be selfish with your time because I really want to learn from you.
Of course.
Doesn't mean that I know I'm older than you and I probably have a little bit more years on you, but that doesn't mean I can't learn. I'm willing to learn from anyone that has the right attitude because you've been in the mortgage pounding the phones longer than I ever have. I've never done that. That's something that I could add to my craft. That's something I can improve. Maybe I can help somewhere. So I'm always striving to learn, connect with people. And before we got in, you were talking about, oh, what a great connector. My connections is easy because I really genuinely love this and I'm selfish with it. It's like some people like to drink, some people like to party, some people like to they're workaholics. I love genuinely meeting people and getting to know people and then rooting for them to see them do great things in the world.
Definitely.
And that makes me excited. That makes me get up in the morning.
1,000,000%. I agree. I feel like a lot of the problem with the world today is that people don't want to root for the people that, it's not even that they're ahead of you in life, but maybe they've mastered something or become better at something that maybe you haven't figured that out yet. I heard something great from a buddy of mine. I don't know if you know him, Milan Avji. He's a big real estate investor. He was on an episode a couple of months ago, and what he said is growing up, I might have acted, in a disrespectful way towards people, but now I don't look at people by how much money they make or, by X, Y, and Z. I look at people by what I can learn from them. And that's something that when I heard him say that, it really resonated with me because, a lot of us, and maybe it's confidence, you think you're the best at whatever it is. When you really open up your mind and realize that it is about what you can learn from somebody, I feel like that's the way you have to be in life because we don't know everything. I'm not perfect. You can't ever be perfect at anything. But once you do open up your mind and realize that you'll learn something from everybody around you, whether it's good or bad.
Right. So then, like I said,
It's an amazing part of life.
What is this social media world,
Yeah.
this fake world that we're living
That's what I wanted to talk to you about,
when
the social media
when
world.
people posting all this fake and their perfect version, the Facetune, this, that, you know, the real world is going to not be real anymore.
Yeah, of course.
You're not going to even, like, I'm hearing stories of people seeing girls in real life. They're like, and guys too. Guys are doing it too. I'm not saying one way or another.
No,
I'm
of
just
course.
saying this whole Facetune game is, you don't know what you're really getting. So you're getting the perfect version in the face, which is not perfect because they're doing this fake makeup on it.
Yeah.
And then you're getting a fake person in their best outfit on their best day with their best smile and their best pose that took 300 to take, and they chose that one.
Exactly.
You know, what are we getting when we really meet people? This is going to be interesting world.
Like, I agree. Does that make them feel good about themselves, or you know, I've done stuff in my life that's not perfect and things that, you know, I would change, but
we all have
acting like somebody you're not and portraying that out there to the world, that's not, so you can't operate that way.
But I can't knock them. You know, I got to go back to the other side now.
Yeah.
Listen, this is what the internet's giving. This is the world we're trying to thrive to be perfect.
It enables you, the social media. It enables
It's like,
people.
say, hey, now we have AI can make me look perfect. Okay, so I'm to the world. Like, it's your avatar.
Yeah, of course.
You know, but whatever, man. To each their own. This is the world we're living in. Hold on. We got to adapt to this world.
Right.
So we better Facetune our shit. When you see this podcast, it's going to look like I'm going to be a little more muscular, you know.
We have to get all the lighting.
You know.
It puts an extra effect on you.
Forget it. If you can't, you know, what they say, you can't beat them, join them. Let's join. Let's go.
That's right.
This is the world we're living in.
100%.
We're in the internet world, the social media world. We're meeting, you know, people through that. Everybody's meeting on the gram, guys and girls sliding in the DMs. Interesting world we're living in. How do people connecting? But listen, man, you know, that's why we have these conversations. It's going to be
100%.
It's a lot of fun.
I wanted to kind of circle back because I don't know much about, you know, you and your story. I know growing up, not really growing up, but when I was, you know, 21, 22 years old, I always used to see you throwing these huge events in Manhattan, connecting with people that anybody would want to connect with in life, you know, celebrities. I think you had maybe Michael Jordan one night come by where you were.
Yeah.
You know, where'd you kind of come from, and how'd you get into that, you know, side of things, the nightlife business or the hospitality business?
Oh my God. I gotta listen. If you have, I hope you guys have 2 or 3 hours because there's a lot of stories I have to tell. We might have to do a podcast 21, 22, 23, 24. I won't
Make it a whole
You guys
season.
You guys want to go? Keep going. We won't stop because there's stories to be had. There's stories to be told. Maybe we get out some more, you know, some more Red Bull and we keep it moving. But first off, so seeing that person,
Yeah.
you met me the first time. We spoke a few times just on the phone, so you don't get to know me.
No, of course.
What did you think I was like? Like, I want to see, because even my Instagram doesn't show who I am. My actually Instagram shows a different version of the guy actually.
a good
When
question.
people get to meet me. So
That's a good question. And a lot of people, I feel like, and not to not answer your question, I'm going to go right into your question, but I feel like even when people see somebody who's not popular on social media, but somebody who looks successful or hangs around people or has the life that you want, you might not, or you might feel a certain type of way towards that person. I can't stand people like that. When I see somebody like you, when I first saw you on social media, I just look at it like, you know, this guy, not figured it out, but this guy's got something going right for him, and how can I learn, you know, what he's done or what he's doing? So I always want to meet people like that and try to connect with somebody like that. When I did first speak to you on the phone last week and we did connect, you know, you never know what you're going to get from somebody, you know, that not as in a business like that, but somebody who looks like or has connections with people at a high level, hyper successful people. You never know how somebody like that's going to respond to you. So I didn't think you would treat me with anything other than respect. You looked like a gentleman, and you are a gentleman. So I appreciate you again taking the time to come sit down, because some people probably wouldn't. But yeah, I just, you know, you're just like I thought you were. You looked like a gentleman on social media,
Great.
somebody who I wanted to put myself around, because like we said when we started the podcast, you know, it's the people that you hang around in life. It's who you align yourself with. So I always try to align myself, and will always align myself with people that push me up, you know, because there's no other way to go but up.
I love that. So yeah, man. So thank you for that. That's awesome, because that's what I really want to portray. I want to be known as a gentleman. I want to be known as a guy that, you know, when he says something, he actually does it. Someone that understands respect.
Right.
I want to, you know, it doesn't matter who you are. My parents came from a third world country. Trinidad and Tobago.
I was gonna say, what's your background?
They came off the boat. My mom and dad came when they were real young. My mom was like 15, 16 when she got here. My dad 19. They left the country where all their family when they came to a country by themselves.
Okay.
So I was raised in a family that knew values, knew respect, knew hard work, knew ethics, and that's what I was taught. We were disciplined hard, though. We weren't, my family were strict. We came off, they knew my father wasn't afraid to put his hands on me. And maybe at a young age, I was like, that's not right, but I'm so happy he did because I probably deserved it.
I got the same answer.
I probably need a little ass whipping. And you know what? The world we're living in today, listen, that wouldn't go.
That would not go. You're not allowed to forget it.
I'm so happy.
Speak to your child, I feel like the wrong way.
Yeah.
Not to speak about that because that's an opinion.
We're living in a soft. I'm not saying it's soft. I don't know what to call it, but you have to be softer. You can't be. You're not. Listen, we got disciplined, and thank you. Yeah. Take the belt out, or give me the shoe. I mean, listen. There's people who I guess. Listen, I'm sure there's some situations where people did abuse. So I can't. Maybe I made an incorrect statement by talking about it that way. But the way they did it, my parents did it, I think was well done. I was
old school morals and values. That's it.
I knew respect for rules. That's basically what they were teaching me, and unfortunately, that's the way they were taught. And regardless, it worked for me. Or maybe I need some therapy because of it.
I was raised the same way though. It's like, and you don't realize till a certain point in life. I probably didn't realize till I don't want to say now, maybe 25, 26 years old, where I'm like. These things that my father instilled in me as a child, even my mother as a child, because my father always showed me tough love. No handouts. Yeah, I'm there for you if you really need something, if it's life or death.
Right.
But there's not going to be me hand you things and enable you and, put you on a path. You put yourself on your own path.
Right.
I'll help you guide yourself down the path that you're going down, but I'm not going to enable you and hand you things in life.
Unbelievable.
And
Hats off to Pops.
Yeah, and looking back, I would never have it any different way because I grew up around people that were handed everything in life, and those people aren't where I would want to be now.
They got the thing about those people, though. They got different, they're going down a different path. And
yeah.
They're looking, when things are given to you so easily, you got to find, I guess, satisfaction in things that maybe are unattractive, actually, And
I have a daughter. I want to give her the world, so it's a little different.
Trust me, I get
with a daughter. I feel like maybe it's a little different.
I did the same thing for my sons. I over probably compensated, and I think we found a great balance at this point. But frick, man, my life is interesting, dude. Like I told you, my parents came off the boat. I grew up in Freeport, Long Island.
Did you?
Yeah, I grew up in Freeport.
What a nautical mile. Yeah. One of my favorite places.
Two blocks over from the nautical mile, a place called Miller. That's where I learned my foundation of, you have to have some grit. I was fighting.
Of course.
I was getting off the school bus and getting into fights. I had a knife pulled to my throat at 9 years old. I got into a few fist fights, getting off the bus. And, it was a tough neighborhood, So it gave me a little bit of grit. Definitely had some grit in me.
Yep.
I think Freeport, it gave me culture because it was multicultural, which was, made me understand all races and how people were. And I think it helped me become a chameleon because I hung out with every race. It was Latino, Black, Asian, Spanish. I mean, it's just Latino, but Italians. They had everything down there. I was from the Caribbean, so it made me very well,
well-rounded.
Yeah, cultured, I felt, So that was until I was like 10, 11 years old. Met one of my best friends there that ended up following me to my new town, but we moved to a place called Bethpage.
Yeah,
I went to
in Plainview.
I went to a small high school called Island Trees High School.
Okay.
Played football there. They named the scholarship after me, the Richie Hosein Leadership Scholarship. So they give that out every year.
That's unbelievable. Wait a second. So they named a scholarship after you?
Yeah.
And it's for, what is it, for
For
sports or
athletes.
academics?
Yeah, to an athlete that shows leadership on and off the field.
Amazing.
And that excelled in the classroom as well.
That's amazing.
That's well-rounded. So every year they give that out, and that's something really nice to know. An accomplishment. They were willing to name something after you. That's awesome. So hopefully I left a good legacy. But that was my goal. I wanted to be known as somebody. I wanted to leave my impact on the world. So I went to college. I got an opportunity to play football at St. John's University.
Amazing.
I'm not sure if a lot of people know that about me, but yeah, I played football there. I started as a freshman. I graduated number 2 in my class at St. John's. I was captain of the football team. I worked my freaking ass. I was a robot. They used to call me a St. John's robot, a lot of guys in my class. So I was always, I wanted to just overachieve. So my family didn't have, so I just felt like if I didn't stack my resume, I wouldn't have the opportunities after college. But everything after college, like, you think things are gonna just go in one way, man. I hit hurdle after obstacle after hurdle after obstacle, and we overcame all of them. But the first obstacle, I played college football, wanted to play pro ball, so I was doing some workouts, had an agent, ran a 4.40 at the
Wow.
at a combine. So people are like, wow, you did that? Yeah, fuck, man, I was flying. I led my team in tackles at St. John's. I was a captain. I was a 4-year starter. So I had some really, dude, I busted my ass.
Amazing accomplishments.
Now that I look back at it. Listen, I wish I would never got all those hits to the head. I got beat up, man. I was in collisions, and the equipment wasn't good back then. So who knows what's that gonna do to me now? And I feel it. I used to have like a photographic memory, and I don't have that anymore. But regardless, that was an experience I'll never take back. I met some of my closest friends, some of my best friends. 2 of my friends on the team made me the godfather of their kids.
That's amazing. That's an honor.
Yeah. A few guys I ended up working with, my best friends in the world. We've had businesses together. We started things together. So that experience at St. John's, I met some of my closest people in my life.
Yeah.
So when I tried to play pro ball. I got hurt. I herniated my disc. So I ended up thinking
There's always a fucking story that you hear, somebody getting injured right before they're about to.
I ran the fastest shuttle run at the combine. The guy didn't believe my time. So they made me run it multiple times. So then I was like, every time I had to beat it because I was just so freaking competitive. I'm like, I'm not going to. No, I think he missed the line. They were like making shit up at this point because I guess they didn't think, I didn't maybe look the part if I could boogie. I was good at the shuttle run. So that was like interesting. But regardless, herniated my disc trying to beat my time. And that was it. My football career ended. Knew I had to get into the real world.
Yeah.
My first job interview was a job interview on Wall Street.
Really?
The day I was supposed to go, so my father has been always my alarm clock. The day I was supposed to go into the city, he didn't wake me up that morning for my interview. He forgot. And he said he didn't hear me, but this man is a machine. My father is like, wakes up, gets his work done, comes home. Like, this guy is a workaholic machine. So I learned a lot of his characteristics, and that's what I wanted to take away. But he outworked me to this day. He outworks me. The guy's a machine. So with that being said, my first interview, the day I was supposed to go in, my dad forgot. All my friends knew I was going for the interview on Wall Street. I knew the guy that was doing it. He was a friend of mine. It was for a seat on the American Stock Exchange. I was going to work as an associate. So had to go into the city with him. He ended up knocking on the back of my door. He was my neighbor, and he's like, "Yo, where are you?" I'm like, "Oh, my mom forgot I'll meet you there later." He goes, "I'm coming home early. Don't worry about it." So then I contemplated for like an hour. My mom, she was telling me, "Go, you should go with him," and I was like, "No, like, he's leaving early. By the time I get there, he's gonna have to leave." And now I kind of effed it up already. So I ended up deciding
it wasn't meant to be.
I ended up deciding not to go, and that was the day 9/11 happened.
That was the day 9/11 happened. Holy shit.
Yeah, so I was supposed to be 2 buildings away.
Wow.
And if I ended up going in late because I would have been underneath. The train comes right underneath the World Trade Center.
Wow.
So if I would have went the time I was going to go late, get the next train and get the subway, and I didn't know my way around, so I probably would have taken my time, got lost.
Who knows?
I would have been going into the World Trade Center when I got hit. Who knows where I would be today?
Everything happens for a reason.
There's so many decisions you can make in life that's going to get you to where everything, you said it.
Things that you would never realize.
So over the last couple of years, I gotten really spiritual.
Yeah.
I used to be afraid of spirits and ghosts and all this stuff, but I don't know, I had like this awakening. I got very spiritual, and I started happened for a reason. We have angels. We do, man. There's got to be something higher than what it is. The next, there's got to be, So, somebody's looking out for us at some point, and when it's your time, it's your time, But we got to be amazed by having the opportunity to be here and do great things.
Yeah.
Do great work. Like, this life is so short, man. And I have ADHD of business because I'm always doing 100 different businesses, which I got to figure out a way to stay on track with a couple. But you always see me. I do a lot of. I'm doing everything. I want to do it all because I feel like it's going to be short. This little window of life.
You want to try to succeed at everything.
Holy shoot! This little window of life, man, is giving me anxiety because I want to get it all in.
Life is so short, and I really never thought that way until a couple of years ago. You realize how fast life just goes by, and people always say that there's time to balance, and that's something else I wanted to talk about, balance, because I feel like business and life and balancing your time is what a lot of people talk about. But I feel like when you're a younger person, right, and you're starting in your career or you're starting to do something different in life, there's not going to be any balance because life is so short. How could you not put like 1,000,000% of your time into whatever you're doing, you know, and not realize that if I don't do the stuff that I need to do every single day and stay disciplined and stay consistent, you know, I'm not going to get where I need to be. Life is so short. Within the blink of an eye, I'm not going to be 30 years old in a couple of months. And it's not old to some people. I feel like I'm old because I'm in the mortgage business. But I can't even, I'm in like disbelief that it happened so fast.
Wow.
You know, going back to when I was 20, 21 years old, you know, I thought the problems I had then were problems. Not that now the problems are different. They're bigger.
Bigger problem.
They're
That's
more
it.
important. I have a daughter now, and I have a family I have to take care of. But I just never, I can't even believe. I'm still in disbelief, like I said, about how fast life has flown by. You know,
Absolutely.
these last 10 years.
No, and it's listen, as they say, as you get older, it just gets faster.
Yeah.
And they're right.
Yeah.
The more your brain knows, the faster time is. You ever heard of
I
that?
agree.
That
Yeah, no, definitely.
people say it that way. Like the time a 1-year-old knows in a day,
Yeah.
1 day in 365 is X amount of all they know.
Right.
As you expand that, the more you know, the faster time has to go.
Exactly.
It's just a mathematical equation
of course.
if you think about it. So yeah, so as you get older, time does go faster. And I feel like it's flying, dude. I'm trying to meet as many people as I can possibly meet, help as many companies I can possibly help. I love connecting people. I love business development, so that's what I do. I help people with marketing. I help people with connections. I throw events because I just genuinely love people and networking and everybody coming together. So like those things are really makes me excited, makes me feel alive.
Yeah, of course.
Doing things like this makes me feel alive. So I told you I'm selfish with the things I want to do, and I'm trying to do it all. But yeah, man, my life is getting back. Dude, this is a long story, man. So I ended up taking a basic job. You know, I couldn't get a job for 9/11. Nobody was hiring.
Yeah.
You know, you couldn't. It was the worst. People lost all their
Second
money.
grade, so I don't really remember so much back then. I was in second
Baby,
grade.
talking about he's getting old. Fucking, what a baby. That's funny. But so yeah, man. So I couldn't find a job. So I was like, had the best resume you could ever think of. It was like pristine, and nobody wanted to hire anyone at that point. So
What got you kind of into when did you start in the hospitality business? Was that
late, bro.
That was
I
late,
had to,
so that-
I
so
had
you
to,
tried
I had to,
different stuff.
I had to dig ditches, brother.
Yeah.
You know, I started. Got a job at Citibank. I got my Series 7 in '63.
Did you?
Yeah, I was behind it, but that was the year 9/11, so everybody was crying. Dad, I don't want my money in the stocks. I was like, the same for me. The same for me. Everybody's coming in. First time, I heard stockbrokers always driving the fancy cars, making all this money. I'm like, they every day coming to the bank, like, and I was a sales associate, so everybody hit me first. The brokers would hide, like, tell them I'm not here. They'd be out to lunch. I'd have like, sorry, they don't have money. So I did that for a couple months, cold calling, and found out real fast that wasn't for me. I couldn't sit
Not
behind
for everybody.
I couldn't sit behind a desk, and I wasn't. And at that point, so a friend of mine was in pharmaceutical sales.
Okay.
So I was like, wow, I think that's where I want to be. Then I found out he had to have B2B sales experience. So I took a job with Airborne Express. They're now DHL. They compete with FedEx and UPS.
Okay.
So I took a job with that during 9/11 in Manhattan. So I was coming from Long Island, taking the train, did that whole process, learning to take the train, going to the city. I'd cold call, I'd make appointments, go on appointments to sell Airborne Express, the horrible company that messed up all the packages. Like, you would go, if you're gonna buy something, you're gonna get UPS or FedEx.
Of course, you would think. Right?
So Airborne, we did save people money, but we always messed things up, man. We weren't as buttoned up as most of these people. So my job was to bring on new accounts, sales. So I had to figure out strategic ways on how to do that, because in 9/11 you couldn't go door to door anymore because they weren't letting you in the buildings. And cold calling, I fucking hated. Hey, how you doing, Mister? So we'd think of creative ways, man. I'd write letters. I'd put lotto cards and send it to CEOs saying, if you give me, I'm giving you a chance to win $1 million, just give me one chance to take my phone call.
Right.
I'd love for you to get back to me. I just want to show you how I can save you 30%. We'd write these people letters. I'd buy 100 freaking, lotto cards, and once in a while you get a guy call you back. They liked it. They won.
Yeah, of course.
So I ended up being rep of the year. Like, that year they were born, I crushed it. But my secret sauce was I actually went down to where they delivered packages. And I ended up going out with the drivers and helped them deliver packages, and allowed me to get in the door of all these buildings. So we would go deliver packages, a nice receptionist at the front desk. I'd introduce myself face to face.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, I'd love for, us to work together. I see you guys use FedEx. I could save you guys 30%. And the best thing is, like, I'm just trying to work my way up in my company. And I'm sure you're trying to do the same. It doesn't have to be my idea. It could be your idea. And I'll just do all the work. I'll do all the heavy lifting. I'll present you the package, save your company 30%. And you'll be showing your boss, like, you're not just going to be here taking orders. Like, you're looking out for the company's best interest. You're looking for their bottom line. And it'll make you, and I hope it helps you accelerate your career. You mind doing that? Can we be friends? Can we exchange numbers? Yeah, they would give me the number. Now when I'm calling that receptionist, she has a face to me. I was on the phone. How you doing? We would talk. We were joking around. We had a relationship. And that's how I started building relationships. And that's how I became the best rep in the country, That was my secret sauce. I just was trying to be creative, do some different things. And those things worked. And my difference was I wanted to connect with people face to face. Over the phone didn't feel as real to me,
It's the connector, like I said, from the minute I met you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
And I told you that's what gave me a genuine love for hospitality. So I did good there. Then I got a job I was dating my ex-wife at the time, and she worked in a doctor's office. So I gave her a stack of resumes. I said, every pharmaceutical rep that comes in, give them my resume. And she ended up doing that. Somebody contacted me from Pfizer. I had my chance and opportunity to get a job with Pfizer. So I went to the interview and met with the district manager, a good friend of mine to this day. His name's Rich Bolello, one of my mentors. Beautiful soul, great man, smart guy. And to this day, we're friends and, we've stayed in touch. So he hired me. He gave me the job. But I went into that interview like, yo, this is it. I'm giving it everything I got. I put it all on the table. I was great. I did everything in life. I was the MVP of my high school team. I was the MVP. I led the team in tackles. I was great in school. Like everything I went after life with, I went with it in that interview because I knew I had one shot. And he liked me. He signed me up, and I became the same thing with Pfizer. So I became the number one rep in the country for our products. Same thing. I did stuff that nobody else wanted to do. I just wanted to outwork people. And like I said, I hate that I'm talking so much about me, but
it's amazing though.
I just wanted to outwork people. So I put in the most calls. Like we had a list for Pfizer, pharmaceutical sales. That's what I did. I was going to doctors' offices, and you're supposed to make 10 calls a day. When I first started, I was probably making 15, 20, and I just wanted to meet as many people as fast. We had a company card, so we were allowed to take doctors out to dinner and, speak to them.
Yeah.
All the reps, nobody wanted to take the doctors out to dinner. I was out every night. I was meeting doctors at the dinner. That's when I felt like I got a chance to really get to know them. They got to know me. Because when you go into an office, they're in work mode. They're like, all right, let me sign the paper and get out of here. They don't really give you a chance. But when we got to eat, I actually got a chance to know them. And they got to learn about me, my story, where my family came from. I learned about them. And then that only allows you the opportunity now for me to present my product.
Exactly.
And if you have a chance to present the information, at least they can know why the benefits are. And a lot of people learned from me, teach them the benefits of the products I had,
100%.
And the only way I got to that point with them, so in sales, is I built a relationship. They trusted my information, and they were willing now, if the two things are the same, who are you going to choose?
Right.
Minimally, I get the business.
Yeah, of course.
So that was my Pfizer life. I did really well with them, and during that time, I opened up a sports marketing company at night, and I was working on the weekends.
Wow.
So I worked for an entertainment company on the weekends. Pfizer was my day job. My night job, I was working on my marketing company, and during the weekends, I worked for an entertainment DJ company. So I literally worked 7 days a week, almost, except for the summers. But I was, I worked almost 7 days a week for 7 years straight, bro.
Wow.
Went from Pfizer, got into medical device sales in the operating room. So I was working for Johnson & Johnson at that time, a distributorship. I was one of the first 6 people in the company. We were doing about $2 million in totality. My territory was doing like $100,000, let's say. I took that same territory in 4 years from $100,000 to like $12 million in 4 years.
It's amazing.
The entire territory went like Brooklyn, Queens, Long Island with the guys I was involved with because I was, we were working together. Like went from the company went from 2 to like 60 million, from like 6 sales reps to 50, quick in 4 years. Powerhouse of guys that I was working with. Good friend of mine, Anthony Zito, played college football with. That's how I got to them. That's why I trusted them. He's to this day monster in the orthopedic industry. He has one of the biggest sales distributorships for sports medicine, in the nation. So he was like my right hand. We built this company with some other guys who ended up not doing the right thing by us. But we're the guys that were carrying the bags in the trenches, building relationships. And I learned a lot, man. I cut my teeth with doctors mainly. On the weekends, I told you I was working for a DJ company, so I was just making extra money. At nighttime, I built a sports marketing company. So we were giving out like I found a group of experts that can find, winners and give you the best advice on sports games.
Got it. Now,
So
did that have something to do with having those relationships with when you had some of those big celebrities come to in the
nothing,
hospitality business?
not a single.
Wow.
Because I was just we were a sports handicapping company.
Got it. Okay.
Playersinsider.com, bunch of sports handicappers, that can, pick games. And they were pretty good at it. And we found guys that love sports. They're like sports experts, sports geeks, is all they lived, breathed, and died sports. So we were pretty good. And we wanted to do the right thing by people. We wanted to win for people. So I built that at night. I found teams overseas in India to help me build so I learned how to build websites and develop web companies, e-commerce business at night. Daytime I was doing healthcare, and the weekends I was doing entertainment.
Non-stop.
Working bar mitzvahs, sweet 16s, weddings, And
It's all networking, though.
dude, I met so many great
all
people.
networking.
I told you, my best friend that I met in the entertainment company, he owns Geo Events, one of the biggest, entertainment companies right now. And I've seen him go from starting up to see how great and amazing he is right now, and he deserves it. So I've got a chance to see so much, man. So working 3 jobs for that, you get to save some money. I did really good. I was top rep, so I was making money. I built a company that was great. I started my own sales distribution, and then I had a chance to invest into One Oak in Southampton.
That's what I wanted to talk about because the Hamptons is one of my favorite places, and I remember seeing that you were involved with, was it AM Southampton, or talk about that a little bit.
Was I involved, man? Okay, so I'll tell you how this happened. I don't know if anyone knows this story, but everybody knows the Hamptons. Everybody knew that club, One Oak. Everybody knew AM when
A
AM.
little younger, but I wish it was now. Get to enjoy those times a little more.
A lot of people talk about that. Still, there's amazing memories, amazing history.
course.
That place will never be like that ever again. And I'm telling you, I don't want to be selfish, but I worked my ass off to make sure it was great. So my first year was an investor. Didn't really know much about nightlife at all. Didn't know how this process worked.
And when was this?
It's like 2000, 15, 14 maybe. I'm gonna have to check those dates.
Somewhere
I
around
got
there.
divorced. Hold on, I got divorced in 13, so maybe around then.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, maybe around 2013, 14. So I invested. Little did I know that they didn't plan on ever giving me my money back. It was like what they did to people in nightlife. Hey, invest,
Right. Yeah.
So I went to the club.
The owner never has to put up his own money. That's how
Yeah,
it
it's
works.
pretty
on a lot of-
interesting.
lot of
Yeah,
those
it's
businesses.
pretty interesting that racket. But I didn't think that, so I went there. I felt like I was just like a guest. They weren't really treated. I didn't feel like I was being treated like an owner. I'm like,
What do you mean? I funded this operation. What's going on? Well, part
it
of
was really weird, actually. And the first year I went there, I was like, telling my friends I bought this nightclub, this and that. And then I'm trying to get my friends in. I can't even get my friends in the club. It was really interesting. So that made me like, wow. So the first year they didn't really pay us back what we were supposed to get. Second year comes, asked us to put more money in. Like, hey, we this and that. I'm like, wow. So I'm learning the business. I'm learning that One Oak wasn't owner of that. There was a group that owned it that licensed the One Oak name.
Right.
So One Oak got 10% of how much ever money was being made. They got a percentage of that finances. Let's say we did. So One Oak only cared about raising gross profit, right?
Exactly.
So business gross doesn't mean you could make 100 million, but if it cost you 103 million, you lost 3 million. You know what I mean? And you did 100 million in sales, right? So we did heavy sales, but we didn't make no money. We lost money.
Yeah, of course.
So I was like, these guys aren't. Now I'm like, my first year, I'm like, these guys aren't operating right. We were packed every night. We had, but they were paying their friends. They were giving the guys at the front door big check, big salaries. Everybody had big salaries. The whole place had big salaries. Yeah. So I'm like, wow, that's not right. And then they were hiring. I figured out they were hiring like celebrities to come to Hamptons, paying them more in the Hamptons and getting them for cheaper in the city where they actually were the owners.
Right.
So I was like, wow, that's not right. And then they were utilizing, liquor companies would give sponsorships and give spends. They take all the spends back to the house, give those spends to the Hamptons properties. It's like, what the heck is going on? We're not seeing any of this money. Right. So I figured out in year 2 really quick, and then I gave them an opportunity at the end. I was like, I'm not doing this. You guys owe me a lot of money. I was really lawyered up. I said, you're either going to, I'm going to keep the place, and I'm going to just open my own brand. You guys could take a walk, and I'll sue you for, what you guys have been doing. Right. Or just give me my money back. I don't want to mess up what you got. You got a great thing going. You got a great brand. Just take the place. Give me my money back. I call it evens. I get it. I get the racket. Yep. You guys have made money. You guys have a big brand, One Oak in all the world. You have all these places. I'm like, just give me my money back and take my keys, take my share. They offered me one. So when the offer came, they offered me 1/5 of the investment back. It was like a smack in the face to me. I'm like, said, you got till Friday. You think I'm screwing around? Like, you don't know anything about nightlife. How are you going to do it? You can't do it. I said, regardless, what you just did was a smack in the face. You got till Friday. If not, I'm doing it myself. And that's it. Friday came, sorry, didn't hear from them. Heard from them like 2 weeks later. What are you doing? I said, I have my logo ready. My brand is AM Southampton. I designed it. I created it myself. I came up with it. I learned how to look from my web development day. I knew logo design, I know branding, built a website.
So AM Southampton was you.
I designed it, developed it, branded it, logoed it. Everything that was in there. So I found a partner in Southampton. His name's Zach Redem.
Yeah.
He owns 75 Main. I approached him saying, hey, there's an opportunity for us. So he went halves with me. So we went after tag it. So Zach was the operator. I was the promoter, marketer. Yeah. So I didn't know how to operate. That's not what I did. So I hired an operator. So he operated it, and I came up with everything else, the design. I booked every talent. I called up every manager. I called up every DJ, myself. I was negotiating contracts. I taught myself this business, literally, for one summer long. Like, I literally I booked all the talent. We were booking talent. We first opening weekend, I had Fat Joe, I had this one, I had that one. So I kind of understood the formula One Oak was going for. I wanted to be a little bit different. I wanted to tell people when they came to our doors, everybody's welcomed. Listen, it's gonna be an elevated experience. It's gonna be more expensive, and but it's gonna be a great time. So make sure we had confetti, we had dancers, I had things going on, I had entertainment. I made it a scene.
You had some serious celebrities that pulled up.
Everyone,
like the Kardashians.
Yeah, we had everyone.
Michael Jordan. Talk about that. How do you
so
get
the best
somebody like that?
So the best day of my life, I could tell you, literally when Michael Jordan came.
Yeah, of course.
Any young athlete, like I grew up in that era of Jordan. Like to get Michael Jordan to come to your club, it was probably like the year 2, I think he came. I've had some big celebrities. I had every name you could think of. I had everybody. I was in the Hamptons. We had everybody came to, and we were the only nightclub really in the Hamptons. And we did a really good job. Yeah. So we had everybody. The biggest names you could think of, they stopped over. And I was booking the biggest talent. I was booking all the big DJs, all the big hip-hop artists, the rappers. 50 Cent did a set there. He brought out Lloyd Banks. He brought out like a crew. They were supposed to do 3 songs. And he did a whole hour performance because I think he was just feeling the energy of the Hamptons.
That's amazing.
It was one of the most amazing nights I could ever think of. One of many. So that whole Hamptons, every weekend, I was living in Bethpage at the time, Plainview. I was driving out there every night. And I didn't like sleeping out.
I've done that a few times.
But I was doing I would go out there Friday, come home, an hour and 15.
Wow.
Saturday night, the same thing, come home. An hour and 15, both ways. I was driving because I love my bed so much. I don't like sleeping in another person. I don't sleep in a hotel. It's
could be any minute when I'm in that place. I'm like, guys, I'll see you later. I gotta get back.
I'm a fan of my bed. I'm a fan of home. So I literally drove back and forth. I put so many miles probably on it, but I love what I was doing. We were doing it really well, and that was a freaking great. But I'm gonna tell you, from the branding, the logo, the design, the party, the entertainment side, that was me. My partner. Zach at the time was helping with operations. We hired a lot of really good people. I've had some of the best teams. I wish I could take credit for everything, but we had a really good team. I hired one person after the next. One of my best friends this day, William Sonnet. We opened up a hospitality group together. We launched a brand. We launched Playboy Club in New York City. We launched Red Rabbit in New York City together. He ended up taking over operation. He was a militant. We call him Military Will, and he ended up taking over operations for us. And I did my thing. He did his thing, and we made really good friends with a lot of great promotional teams. We had some of the best, and we launched Red Rabbit. It crushed. I had Travis Scott. I had Future. I had some of the biggest dudes, man. Like another place, Meek Mill pulled up.
Amazing.
Every Nick was coming on a regular basis. I had, you name it, we had it. And then the same thing, we brought that entertainment to New York City. We brought it hospitality to New York City. Unfortunately, we had a sewage leak, so we had to close. The building behind us had a sewage leak, so it was going into our basement. So the building ended up getting condemned.
Wow.
But during that time, Playboy approached me, and they wanted me to run Playboy Club in the city. And the Playboy Club in New York City, they wanted me to come in and help them with the restaurant and nightclub. So they made me the president. So I got a chance to be like, this is all happening. Bro. A guy that knew nothing.
Wow.
A guy that knew nothing, never was in hospitality before, was in healthcare, marketing, and entertainment because
I thought that was you. I thought you were the hospitality guy from the beginning.
Yeah, I taught myself the business. Dude, I was when I was at AM the first year, I answered the phones. I returned every email. I booked almost all the tables promoters did. The first month, I had no promoters help me, so we booked all the tables myself. I taught myself digital marketing to market online, to get people to see the place, market our flyers.
Yeah.
I taught myself flyer design, got people to help us with flyers. All the front end stuff, I had one or two people. No, I didn't have much help, just a little bit here and there. I took it all on my own shoulders because I didn't trust anyone to do it the way I wanted it done. I booked every piece of talent. Dude, I was negotiating contracts. It was so much fun. And I taught myself the whole entire business. But I taught, from front of the house, from the security, how I wanted it operated. Instead of most clubs, they come in, they're mean and tough. I wanted our security officer to say, welcome to AM.
Yeah, right.
Greet the people. Because once they come inside this place, they're our guests. We want to show them the utmost hospitality you can for anyone. You're going to roll out the red carpet for them. We're asking them to spend money with us. We're going to bust our asses for them to make sure they have a great time. They get great treatment. And listen, did we make mistakes? Yeah. Did things not go always perfect? Absolutely. But we were built to want to give great service. The team, the people, the culture. And many people think, I was in nightlife. I don't drink. Ask every one of my teams, bussers to waiters and waitresses. They couldn't believe owner of a nightclub doesn't drink.
Yeah, I asked you for a drink when we got here. You said no.
Yeah.
Surprising.
And the good thing, my partner didn't as well. The people I hired, my boy Will, he didn't drink. My operations guy, so we just were straight business.
Yeah, you guys were sharp, though.
We were sharp. We were on it. We cared. And I think we delivered an amazing experience. People still talk about it.
Yeah.
To this day, I can't,
Those are names that we know, and I was 18, 19 years old when AM Southampton, if it was 2012, that's when I graduated high school.
Yeah, we went to
somewhere around that
we went
time.
to 18, I think, 5 years. So maybe 14 to 18, 14 to 19. That was around that time. It was awesome. I wish you would have seen it. But
you never know what happens in the future again.
You never know.
Some exciting stuff, hopefully. So
why not? Well, there's so many things we can do in this world. So AM went to Red Rabbit. There's so many stories.
My father actually, I don't know if you know the place. It was in Great Neck, and I forget I don't think he bought it from Richie Markowitz, but it was the living room.
Okay.
In Great Neck. My father actually was in that business. This is probably 20 years ago. Him and my Uncle Michael and his friend who actually passed away at 50 from a massive heart attack, Dr. Mike, may he rest in peace. They decided to go partners on this lounge called the Living Room, in Great Neck, like 20 years ago. And I was so young, I didn't really know about the business, but I just remember hearing the same things. It's so exciting to be, I feel like, a part of something like that. And that's always been a dream of mine, too, to get into a business like that eventually, or just to have a business like that, to have somewhere to go to and to enjoy yourself and to bring the people you love around and to wine and dine them and to show them hospitality. But I remember him even growing up, that was a challenging bit. There was only so many years that it lasted, because I feel like in that business you have your run. Yeah, there's some people that last forever, in the restaurant business
easy.
or
it's
the
just, listen,
hospitality business.
people change, time change. You get
run,
COVID happens, this thing happens,
He said liquor was how they made most of their money.
Yeah, that's it.
Liquor's how they made most of their money.
And they gave you a hard time about that too. We had
That's what I was
to
gonna
worry
say.
about the fire marshals shutting us down. We were over capacity. All
Exactly.
these things we had to worry about. So, they didn't make it easy for you to do it.
No.
So it was actually hard. It was harder and harder they made to do it. So they shut us down on our biggest nights, and I think it was unfortunate because I think we were a great thing for the town. It made people want to come out to the Hamptons, and I think they were just trying to every possible way to shut it down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, listen, it was a great run. It was a great experience.
Yeah.
And I told you, got into I was doing it in Manhattan. Went from the Hamptons, skipped Long Island. Think about it, it's where I was born and raised.
Right?
I skipped Long Island. I went from the Hamptons straight to Manhattan. And I was doing it on the biggest stage of the world.
Long Island's tough. I feel like people tried to rename so many places that you see the same results.
We need something. We need something on Long Island.
Something on Long Island.
Dude, we need something so badly on Long Island. So maybe we'll do something. Let's figure out a way to do something on Long Island.
I would love to bring that type of energy to Long Island because, like I said before, that's something I always.
The game
love that.
The game has changed though. Yeah. No more. After what I realized from being in nightlife, after 2 a.m. only bad things happen.
It's true.
So what I would like my next venture to be will be it's like a dinner party. I want to do a nightlife, but during dinner.
Yeah, it's
during dinner time. Fridays and Saturdays, Sunday brunch, and that's it. You could get the experience. You want to hang out, come out. If you're on Long Island, We'll turn up if you want to be like you're in a nightlife venue during dinner, music, party, hanging out, good people, good vibes, good food. That's the type of vibe I want to bring and have entertainment, have shows, have dancers, make it an experience. Have dance sets, choreographed dance sets. Have the fake Michael Jackson come out with his dance crew and put on a performance for the audience while you're eating dinner. Everybody want to dance a little bit, just get some real cool things going, So that's kind of that would be if I was going to do it again, I wouldn't do nightclub, because also what I realized, nightclub brings out the younger people. Nothing wrong with the younger people, but the older people are the ones who have the money.
Right.
Those are the people that are willing to spend some, extra dollars on a champagne and some nice drinks. So that's kind of where listen, it'll be open for everyone, but like I said, that's the experience. The next one I'm going to do, if I do something, it'll be something like that. So that's
what are, not to cut you off, I'm sorry. I wanted to talk about, I feel like a lot of people like this topic, some of the dark things about the nightlife industry. What are some of the things that people might not really know about that business? I feel like there's so many things that might happen behind the scenes, or, anything. What's a crazy story that, you could think of? I'm sure you have a million of them.
So the good thing about hospitality, you have hospitality respect.
Yeah.
Right. So in hospitality, you don't see anything.
Yeah.
That's the kind of code of honor in hospitality.
I love that.
It's so people are allowed to come out and do what they have to do.
Yeah.
And that's not my business to ever talk, but
Yeah.
the things you can think about that can happen with waiters, waitresses, celebrities, whatever you can think would happen, if it could happen, probably happened.
It probably happened.
Get funky with it. You know what I'm saying? And to each their own, because it's not my right to judge anybody. The only one that could judge me is the big man and myself. I'm here to judge myself.
In the mirror. What's the most amount of money somebody spent in one night?
100, 200 grand.
Was that a celebrity? Or just...
No, hedge fund guys. Some big hedge fund guy. 100 grand. A guy spent it on his son's birthday, 80 grand. On champagne. Wanted to give everybody champagne bottles. So, no, the Hamptons people spending money, man. We had some big spenders out there, and they didn't mind spending it. So we had some really cool, fun nights. I'm telling you, with people popping bottles. But from the bad stuff, the thing I didn't care for it is because I told you the bad things happen after 2 a.m. Too much alcohol, people change. They become a different person. Too many drugs, they become a different person. So that's some scary stuff. Those are the scary things, and to stay up those late hours, guess what? People have to take stuff. I'm sure they were taking either Red Bull or other things to stay up, and that's the kind of character of people you get in the nightlife industry. That's what I didn't really understand, because I came from business. I went to college. I had a degree, and I only knew how to do business one way. I dealt with doctors and surgeons and hospital owners and CEOs of hospitals. So you can't screw up. In Long Island, New York, if small world, you mess up, you're that guy. So everything I had to do was proper. So I carried that to nightlife, and I tried to make sure everybody got paid. People in nightlife don't get paid. They screw people over all the time.
A lot.
The business owners in nightlife, I don't know where the world they come from, but I'm just thinking of the type of character they might be. They're probably, on the streets. They were promoters, and they were running in these crowds, doing drugs and alcohol. And then that's what else would you expect from those? I don't know what else we can expect. They weren't taught well. They probably didn't have good mentors, and they end up owning clubs, and they only knew how to do business that way. And you hear a lot of contractors, right? Yeah. Contractors don't know how to do sometimes good business. They don't show up on time. It's what you're taught, And unfortunately, I had strict parents. I was taught values, show up on time. Podcast was 7:30. I was here at 7.
You were on time.
Yeah, you were surprised by that, I'm sure.
I'm a few minutes late sometimes.
Well, ain't nothing wrong with any, bro.
We all, sometimes I'm a little bit late, so I understand that end of it, but you can't be. You have to operate. You're operating on someone else's time.
Right.
That's how that's how you have to be when you're going somewhere. So
you came, offered this opportunity. We made a commitment to it, and that's awesome. And thank you for holding to your commitment.
Of course.
But at least I can do is be on time. Don't get me wrong. Have I been late? Absolutely. I'm not. No one's perfect, but I try to respect the other people's time. I like going a little early, making sure if I have to find parking, make sure whatever the situation is, I could scope out the whole entire thing. So I kind of want to know a little bit. I don't want to be just showing up and running, and then trying to figure it out when we got here. I kind of don't know I wanted to get comfortable. I wanted to meet your guy, your friend. You know what I mean? You got a good team here. These guys are unbelievable.
I appreciate it. I saw something on your social media, something about 1111.
Oh yeah.
Is that like a Is that like a movement? Or you have it tatted on you too?
You're gonna get it next.
What is that?
As I've been going through this life, I feel like life's alignment, and you align with certain people for a reason. And I think 1111 is all about alignment, right? And then in the spiritual thinking is how you connect with some people, the energy that flows between each other, and you get that connection with people. There's certain people you can't get like as much as you try. It's like
You can't be sitting 2 feet away from certain people that that you haven't forget not meeting them before. You just don't vibe with certain people.
bro, we just met and how are we vibing? Like it's an energy thing.
Exactly.
And that's kind of what 1111. Like I told you, I got like into this whole spiritual thing, and
I love that.
I think alignment is so important. How you align with. I don't know if you know. I told you, but I'm currently in a global leadership program with Harvard.
You are.
I'm doing a 1-year program with them right now. I had classes today with the group. I'm helping them launch a global healthcare leader foundation. So we're gonna be getting leaders, global leaders together to help fix global issues and to make the world a better place. So I've had the lucky of being a part of this group. There were 3 cohorts that participated within this. There were about 50 each. So now we have all 150 of them within this foundation we're creating of global leaders from around the world. Guys like myself, people like myself that are, care a lot, that want to make a real difference in the world. So now we're putting it together, and then we're creating a foundation. We're in the process of setting it up. It's actually something we should be videotaping and recording and creating content. Now that I think about it,
Yeah.
I'm also I launched my digital marketing and creative marketing agency. It's called Influence Media. So I launched that this year, and now I'm helping brands do business development, connect dots, bring in influencers, content creation. I think content is currency. That's the world we're living in right now. If you're not making content, you're like, it's like you're not investing in the stock market. It's like you're not investing, into yourself. It's not like if you're not creating content in this day and age, you see guys like Gary V, Hormozy, like they're putting up hundreds of pieces of content a week.
Unbelievable.
So it's like they're investing hundreds of $1 millions into the stock market.
Yeah.
That's how I look at content this day and age. It's an opportunity, it's real currency. The more content you have, the more views you have, it's worth something. You're a valuable asset on the internet.
So I love that. Content is currency.
Yeah.
I never heard that.
I want to get a shirt and some hats.
We're gonna make shirts after this, actually.
All right.
Content
You
is
ready
currency.
to partner on that?
I'm ready. I love that.
Let's do it.
Content is currency.
Yeah.
I feel like so many people, and like I was saying when you got here, 2 years ago we started posting real estate videos because I'm in the mortgage business. We were never consistent with the media, and I feel like in my business or in a sales business, you always stick to your basics. Smile and dial. Network with your people. Have your referral partners, and that's how you earn your living. But once I realized that, and I feel like I'm behind. 5 years ago, people started posting videos and started making content.
Brother,
10 years ago,
we are behind.
we're behind.
But you don't want to miss it now.
We're also ahead of so many people that haven't even started.
So ahead.
And that's what I feel like. And the reason I'm saying what I'm saying is because there's a lot of people who don't believe that it should be, whether it's a sales funnel to help you get business, whether it's for your personal brand, whether you want to speak and give back to
You can
people.
get to anyone you want on this internet through social media.
Exactly.
You want to talk about your product? You want to talk about mortgages? You become the expert of mortgages. The world, that side is really smart. The people watching this content, and they know if you're a bullshit artist before, because we're watching so many people and we're analyzing so many things at the same time, our brains have changed. We can analyze something if we like it, don't like it, if it's bullshit or whatever, and so fast. We're becoming speed of lightning because we're just creating content. All you do all day long is swipe up, down, left, right on your computer. Your content about to explode with content. So that allows us to quickly see who's real and not. So if you want to talk about mortgages and you're real and genuine, the world will buy from you. I'm telling you, they really want to buy from good people. We want to see good people doing good things. And instead of now watching Netflix all the time, social media is a real world Netflix, right? And the people you attach to, the same as you do on Netflix, these shows is like real people you attach to, and you see their lives and you're watching their lives. And how they're growing and what they're doing. Are they lazy? Are they doing stuff? Are they active on the internet? Are they not? You can characterize somebody by the actions you see with them on the internet. And that's how now we communicate. Nobody communicates anymore like this. So when they actually see people talking into the camera and communicating, wow, this people are making it. Like there's
Yeah.
stuff going on. Like
Right.
so that's kind of like the whole world is like rooting for great things to happen.
Right.
So we've got to put more good energy, good people surrounding each other to keep flooding this world with positivity and good energy because there's a lot of hate and negativity. As you can see, the world right now, we're extremely divided, right? Like there has not been more lines in the world than it is today. There's lines in the sand everywhere. Religion, race, politics, you name it, there's a line in the sand. You've got to choose, I've got to choose. You've got to choose, I got to choose. Where are you going to live? What country, what religion, this, that, like black, white, green, Spanish, yellow, it doesn't matter. You got to choose. Why? Everybody has the right to be who they are. Like we should never be putting anyone in position to choose. You have the right to like what you like. Take in the information. If you it feels good inside, that's your opinion. I don't gotta judge you. I don't gotta hate you because you're on the other side.
Yeah.
I gotta respect you.
I agree with that.
And because at the end of the day, if we want to go this way, if we want to go forward like a laser missile, if we want to go forward, we have to collaborate. If we want to slow down progression, we divide. Get further and further away from each other because you're never going to progress because your side is going to take a stance. I'm going to take a stance, and there's no collaboration and there's no moving forward. And the world today needs to figure out a way to get rid of these lines because whatever this negative, positive and negative energy, you think you want to believe in God, you want to think of energy, you want to think we are built with energy. We know that. That's a fact. It's science. We are built. We're atoms or ions. We are built on energy. So there's negative and there's positive. Positive does what? Resembles,
exactly.
pushes positivity.
Right.
Negative does the same. And we're in this major world battle of negative and positive forces. What do you want to deliver to the world?
I completely agree. And I feel like a lot of people have a hard time with people having an opinion on something or whatever it is. And I've always been a person that if you believe in something, God bless you. You're allowed to believe in what you believe in. I'm the type of person that might not speak about all of that stuff to the world, but
Right.
I'm not going to judge you based on your opinion. You think that way because of a reason, I'm sure. So you're entitled to your own opinion. And I feel like a lot of people, without being educated in society today, have an opinion or don't let people have an opinion.
Well, remember,
Educate yourself
We're
first.
on the phone now. We're not having these conversations anymore.
Right.
We're not. They're not happening.
It's just like it's just people are just reactive instead of let me educate myself, find out
Let me
why
get to
I
know
believe
this person.
this.
Let me figure
Exactly.
out his story.
Exactly.
What his parents taught him.
Right.
And maybe we can have a divine conversation and come to some common ground. But that's not what's happening. There's no negotiations anymore.
Right.
I'm taking a stance. I'm this side. I'm that side. Like you see it, even with these wars that are going across
sad.
It's sad. It's all ego too. Everything is ego driven. Everybody's got these big egos because of this flex. You don't have to flex to be great. You have nothing to prove to anyone except for yourself. Go live your life. If you like the nice, expensive, fancy things, go earn. Go work. There's 24 hours. You work 23 and a half of them. You don't have that work-life balance. And I'm telling you, I lived that life. I was working 7 days, 7. I didn't have that work-life balance. I dedicated my life to my work, but I loved it.
Yeah.
It made me happy. Who's anybody to judge me? It made me happy. I wanted to provide. I wanted to do great things for my family. And I wanted to make them live in nice houses. And I felt great working. It didn't hurt me. My friends would see me. Even I told you on the weekends, I'd be with my friends. We would go during the day. I'm answering every freaking call that came into the nightclub. Every text that came in, I'm answering. So I never had time for anybody. I was just like this the whole time. But I loved it. I knew I was giving good customer service. I knew I was talking to the people. I was booking tables. I was making sure the place was, doing well. So I did every role. Like I was a maniac. But
That's how I always was. Last year I'm on vacation on a cruise with my mother's side of the family because we don't get to go away that much anymore. And I remember I'm on a jet ski in the ocean in the Caribbean, and I'm on a FaceTime with one of the guys I work with, talking to a client, saving a deal. No matter where you are, if you're built that way and if you operate that way, you're bulletproof. And a lot of people don't operate that way. I was always the guy that you have to take that phone call right now because that's business. You have a person on the other line that relies on you or whatever it is. So
it makes you different. That's why you.
Yeah,
hold on. But that puts you in a position I'm sure you are in today, right? Like, and people always say, "Is that person, is it natural? Is it, is it built? I think it's a little bit of everything, man. It's in your DNA. You have to have it in your DNA. But can someone turn it on? I think so.
yeah, I agree with that.
I think you gotta. It comes to a sense of maturity. You have to be at a certain level of maturity. You have to be around a certain level of things.
Environment.
To make it click. Like it doesn't click. Like I don't know if it clicked. Maybe it was. Did you see the story about me on the internet running I ran through my race with my cousin. Did you see that
No,
story?
no, I didn't.
Okay, so I'm going to tell the story again because I don't think I did it justice the first time. Maybe I did. 5 years old, okay? I'm in my house in Freeport, New York. It's a long house. It's not wide. It's long. So it's like, think about like a little rectangle, right? In the back of the house was the living room. You know, there's a couch and TV. In the middle of the house was the kitchen. Front was the foyer. So the back of the house had a doors, like to go out to the back. We lived on a Woodcliff. We live on Miller on the canal. So I had a canal in the back, and I jumped in a few times. And
I almost bought a condo at the end.
Didn't know how to swim, and my mom had the family saved me. I was like 4 years old. I was a maniac. I felt bad for my parents. But regardless, I'm in this house, okay? Long, narrow house. Think about it. My cousin's like, yo, I could beat you in a race. I'm like, there's no way you could beat me in a race. I'm the fastest kid at this age, right? That's how I always felt. So we go to race. He's on the back, you know. I'm actually facing this way. I'm where you are. He's here. So we have our hands on the wall. My uncle's on the couch, and I'm like, you gotta say ready, set, go. So my uncle's on the couch. My family's in the kitchen. In the front, there's nobody. So ready, set, go. Boom, we're off to the races. My uncle's like, slow down. They're gonna yell. In the kitchen, my parents, oh guys, slow down. Yeah. So we're getting to the door. My house was built long and narrow. There was a door and a glass pane window right next to it. We're head to head. He's right there. I'm running. He's head to head. I'm like, shoot, the door's coming. If I slow down, I might lose. I keep running. Right through the glass pane window. Glass on my face. I'm bleeding. Got up. Victory.
That's all you cared about.
I'm bleeding. My parents were looking at me like I'm crazy. But that's how since I was 5 years old, I've been attacking life ever since that way. Head down, busting through glass pane windows.
No matter what comes at you.
And, bro, there's obstacles. I'm telling you, all of us, the whole world, you, me, this life wasn't built to not have obstacles. You can have all the money in the world. I guarantee you have some obstacles. You're facing challenges. Maybe you're addicted to drugs. Right. You're addicted to porn. You're addicted to gambling. You're addicted to doing bad things, cheating on your freaking wife. I don't know. Everybody has. The world is never you're gonna find a problem. So if you're living in a world thinking no one has obstacles, you got to be built to say, I'm gonna overcome every challenge. My goal in life is to figure them out. That's what makes me stay alive. I feel alive when I'm figuring out problems, right? When you're providing solutions, figuring out things, how to use your brain to make things work, to navigate. That's when we feel the most alive. And when people are trying to compete for something. Right. Running through that, I was competing for something. College football, I was competing for something. I was trying to win. That made me feel so alive. So guess what? Once you stop doing those things, your body's going to think what? It's time to decay. It's time to start dying. So when you're not making your life feel alive, your brain knows you're smart enough to say, hey, he's still living. I need to keep this guy strong and powerful. Right. So that's what you got to bring to the world every single day.
No matter what it is.
You want to stay alive. It don't matter if you're 5 years old, you're trying to learn how to do things, 20, 30, 40. You've got to continue to. I'm going to Harvard. I have no business going to Harvard.
It's amazing. You're going to Harvard now.
For a year program, like with some of the biggest in the world, the global leaders of the world. This is who I'm surrounding myself.
Yeah.
Listen, I've surrounded myself with the nightlife industry, and I'm getting surrounded myself with global leaders. It's great, both. I learned so much from both sides. I learned a lot from this side. I can apply a lot to this side. Because what I'm realizing is the really, really smart people in this world, they have their own challenges. They have their own way. They don't know how to have politics. They're too smart for themselves sometimes. Yeah. You get in your way sometimes even being too smart. You're overthinking things. So I saw a thing by Jack Ma. He said his job as a leader was to put the smartest people in the room. Smart. But his job was not, because the smart people, it's hard for smart people to work together. His job was to get them to work together. And that's when you have things work really well. Get the smartest of every industry. Sales, accounting, marketing. Put all the smart people in the room, smarter than him. He was not afraid to surround himself with smarter than people than him. Most people have egos. What do we try to do? No, you're too smart. Get the frick out. I'm going to fire him. I'm going to look bad if someone's better than me.
On the last episode, my best friend, and we also work together, he said, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're probably in the wrong room. But a lot of people, like you said, it's an ego thing. They always want to be the smartest person in the room. Maybe they feel like they want to be in control or whatever it is. I know for myself, even in my office, in my environment, I love when people, you don't love when people do better than you, but I love being around people that do better than me because it pushes you to be better. And it pushes you, like, I want to accomplish that for myself. Right. So
when you race someone, when you're trying to be fast, you're trying to sprint. Like let's say we were trying to compete in the Olympics for the gold medal.
Yeah.
Do you race with someone slower than you? You race someone faster than you?
Faster, of course.
You gotta. That's the only way the muscle's gonna grow and build and break down. And it happens with your brain, it happens with your body, it happens with your soul. You gotta break it down to rebuild it.
Yep.
The pleasure is actually in the pain. And once we start learning, wow, the pain is what's
No pain, no gain. That's what they
sin.
say. That's
If
what
you
they say.
you know if it hurts, pretty much you're growing.
Right.
Reading books hurts. Long ones, spending the time, dinner hurts. Waking up early hurts. Working out, pushing yourself to lift heavy weights hurts. Running long distance hurts. The things that hurt, cold baths hurt. Not eating everything in sight hurts.
Yeah. But being around some of those high level people, like even the people that, like the Harvard program that you've joined, I'm sure to see some of those people operate with their back against the wall. And like you said, some of those people with all the money in the world, they're going through challenges that
Everyone is.
different. Yeah, everybody is. But to learn how those people operate with their back against the wall and under pressure,
I'm gonna tell you right
I
now.
want to learn from from those people.
I'm
I
out
want to
of
be around those people.
I feel like I'm out of my league every single day.
Yeah.
When I'm around them, but it's pushing me.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna run a little faster.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a little bit early in the gym.
Of course.
You know,
Are you
but-
into the whole fit? We didn't talk about that. Are you into the fitness
Yeah, I
thing?
love training. I grew up. My body hurts though. I'm gonna tell you that from football. My body hurts.
Oh yeah. What's it? You said you played.
Yeah, my body hurts, man. But I'm training. Of course, I'm trying to
It's new for me.
figure out different ways to keep my mind. I did Orange Theory for a little while. I do intermittent fasting as well. Now I'm back to living like I'm trying to live a heavy weight. I lost a lot of weight, so with that I felt like I lost muscle. So now I'm trying to live heavy weight again, and try to rebuild a little bit. So I'm doing push-ups early. I'm doing like a little thing, like 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups, 50 air squats, 50 burpees. I'm trying to incorporate that every day into my regular routine.
I love that.
Just want to keep going.
That's something new for me. That was never a part of my life, the fitness thing and
Really?
the personal development thing. No, it's probably 6 months where I woke up 6 months ago and I'm like, I'm done. I'm not going on my boat one more summer looking the way I look. And people say, oh, you're skinny or you look good, you look healthy. No, I don't feel good. I never felt good about
Wow.
myself.
Surprising.
Yeah, I played sports growing up and I was always athletic and I would not play something and then do well at it. But the fitness thing, getting into the gym and having that type of routine was something I never was able to implement into my life
Are
until
you doing it?
probably 6 months ago. I woke up and I said, I'm done.
How does it feel?
It's the best thing I've ever done in my life, aside from other things.
So we're giving people in this world the answers to the test, right?
Of course.
We give them say, hey, you feel better when you work out. You feel
Right.
when you push yourself, you read. But guess the biggest issue we have is no one can do it for you.
Right.
That's the person. When you're waking up in the mirror every morning and looking into the mirror, you got to decide what you want to be.
It's you versus you. That's it.
It's the only person you have to make proud. It's actually the only person at the end of the day you got to be selfish for.
Right.
And what version of you do you want to present to this world? You have one shot at it. And I was telling you before, like, goes fast, and it's just going to keep going faster and faster. So if you're going to try to, attack this life, listen, to each their own. Some people are going to want to do everything. Some people are going to want to do nothing. But who am I to judge? Who are you to judge?
Right.
Right. People can be. But we are at least going to give them the answers to the test.
Of course.
Here are the answers for my test that's working for me. You tell me what's working for you.
Of course.
Some of the stuff I'm learning from already, man.
That's what it's about. Yeah.
I can't believe this is the first time we actually met.
No, I've had relationships like that with people in life where you sit with somebody, you feel like you've had a relationship forever, and it's nice.
Maybe
it's nice
a past
to connect.
life.
Yeah, it's nice to connect with people like that because you know that
Could have been brothers. Or
got
something.
nothing to do with age. I've always hung around people that were older than me growing up. I was always.
grandpa.
No, come on. I was always
Yo,
that.
did he just call me a
When we
grandpa?
talked about the club,
Wait, you heard that, right? I know you're listening.
when we talked about the club, I was
I know.
a little young for those
I don't-
days.
I don't take it.
But when I was 18, 19, I was always the kid that hung around the 30, 35-year-olds because whether it was knowledge or the way I saw how they operated,
You knew from a young age, bro.
Yeah, I
you
wanted to be
got
like
it.
those people.
A lot of people don't get it, so we got to tell these young guys.
I feel older than you, I'm sure. I feel it must be my business, but
I'm sure you listen. You talk to a lot of people.
yeah.
I know what the mortgage guys do. How many phone calls a day these guys got to make? How many calls?
We started the same way back in the day, 10 years ago, making 200-300 calls a day. Obviously now there's technology that helps you implement
Yep.
easier ways to do that in our business, but we have the old school values in our business. All of my guys in the office, we dial the phones, we pound the pavement, we do our networking. We don't lose sight of the stuff that got us to where we are. I feel like I did the last year or two, and I've spoke about that on the last couple of episodes. You know, we had such a busy couple of years, even before the pandemic, and then during COVID, rates came down, so there was such an influx in business where I'm the first one to admit, you know, my faults, and I took my pedal off the metal for a little bit and focused on things that didn't get me to where I was in my business. But I realized fast that you can't come away from the stuff that you did and the work that you put in to get you to where you got so fast, because
It's actually the same thing with relationships. Like when people first start in a relationship, they put a lot of energy into it,
Right.
and they think, "Oh, now I'm get comfortable," and you don't got to put that same energy.
can't get comfortable.
But that's what kills the relationship,
Right.
because you're not getting actually the same version that I started dating. right?
Exactly.
Like that's not the. So you got to keep giving that effort. You know, and it's people aren't consistent with things. That's just life we're living in, bro.
Right.
It's not. It's. How can we fix that? How can
Jim
we,
helped me so much
It's
with
happened to every one of us. It's happened to me too. You know, I
Yeah.
gave more energy to something else. I probably could have gave less energy to, and vice versa. Listen, but
I was always a people pleaser, though. That's why I always
I'm a people-
operated
I'm the
that
same,
way,
people
because
pleaser.
I would always worry about how's this guy feeling. You know, what could I do to make him better or help him out, regardless of what I'm going through or dealing with in my life. And maybe I was in a horrible situation
Right.
during that time, but I've always been somebody to wear my heart on my sleeve.
I can
You know,
see
how
that
could I
about
help that person, no matter what you're going through? And sometimes that's not good. That's why I love this stuff, because you get some stuff off your chest and speak about some stuff that you maybe never spoke to anybody about, because that's just how I was growing up. You know, it's nice to talk to people, but I always held my stuff in. You know, man, woman, no matter who you are, I just was always the person to keep things like that in and worry about what is he dealing with or what is she dealing with, and not worry about myself. And once I started to realize you have to work on yourself to be able to worry about other people, that's when I realized, like, I gotta fix myself now and start at least putting the work in.
how can you be good for anyone if you can't be good for yourself? right?
Exactly.
So you got to be the best version of yourself for you. You got to be happy with you, because if you're not happy with you, that relationship's not going to be happy. You're going to be a fake version of you in that relationship. You got to be happy with yourself. You got to be committed to yourself, and then once that's good, you're good with being alone. That's when you're probably even ready to be in a relationship. You know.
Completely agree.
And I told you, relationships are hard, whether it's business, partnerships, family, mother, father, brother, you know, you name it. Relationships in total, like it's work.
Yeah.
You
No,
gotta
they
be
are.
willing to put the work in.
It is. You have to be willing to put the work in, because I feel like people think it's 50-50. It's not, because you're not always going to be equal. You know, some days you got to pick up their slack. The other days you expect them to pick up your slack. And
I love that you
but
said
that's what creates a team.
It's not always 50. You know what it is? It's always 100, 100.
I love that.
It's always, it doesn't matter what day. I could be at a 5 that day, but I'm going to give 100 of my 5. I'm going to give 100 of my 7. I'm going to give 100 of my days when I'm a 10.
Right.
You know? But I don't think you don't have to think about 50-50, because that's another way. Like, I got to pick up. No, you got to be the best version for you, because that's the only way you can be good for that person. And being the best version should include doing great things for the other person. That's your partner in life.
Exactly.
That's your spouse, or that's the one you're putting your head down at night next to, you know, hugging or cuddling with. Like, you got to be going after it. That's the very important relationship in your life. I mean, if you're not treating that relationship good, how can you be treating yourself good?
It's true. It's true.
So, you know, I'm told you, like, I'm built differently, especially even with relationships and life, man. I want to be known as a good person. I wanted to know my friends, like, hey, we always did the right thing by each other, you know? And I live by that code of ethics, integrity. Like, those words mean something to me when I'm doing business, you know, my family, everything. So that's the world I want to live in. That's the person I want to be. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
That's what's cool to me.
Right. Making people feel good.
Yeah.
Philanthropy, it seems like you love that stuff. You know,
Yeah.
figuring out how you can give back to the world and
100%.
do things for other people. Yeah, those are the things that make you feel good.
Dude, I was with these guys a couple weeks ago. A couple days, we put together a charity event for kids with, you know, they raised so many sneakers and they're giving it
I
back
remember.
to
Yeah, I remember.
the kids. Like, you know, listen, shout out to my boys, Ron and AZ. These guys did some amazing work, man.
They're great people.
What good dudes. They got such good guys to come and support, give sneakers, donate their time, donate their energy, they're giving out sneakers left and right to these inner city, you know, neighborhoods and families. such a great feeling. What
it
giving back? That's what it's about. You know,
Right.
a lot of guys came together on that. We had the guys from Nino's Beach. We had Geo Events. All my friends too came to support. We had some celebrities. Jose Reyes in the building.
Yeah, I saw pictures of Jose Reyes in the building.
Jennifer Aiden from Real Housewives.
That's awesome.
We had some really, like I said, we had some cool people in the building too. Next event, you better get there.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
What are to go on to something a little bit different? You know, as I feel like we can keep rolling. I wanted to while we finish up, I wanted to talk about a couple things. Some of the goals maybe you have. I know you said some great stuff you have going on, the Hardvard thing.
Yeah.
You know, all that stuff that you are working on and all the events you throw and all the charity stuff that you're involved in. Is there a specific goal you have for this year, or is there anything you want to accomplish different this year besides, you know, Harvard? I know that's something that's so important to you.
Absolutely. So this year, I'm actually changing the way I think about even goals. It's already happened. It's already happened. You know, so I'm helping right now with a bunch of different businesses that I know are going to explode. I'm doing some really amazing things education-wise, like working with Harvard. So I'm going to graduate Harvard. You know, it's already happened. I graduated.
I might have to sign up at Harvard.
Why not?
I love it.
There's a lot of programs like this, and I wish I would have did a little bit more research.
Yeah.
But come talk to me.
Of course.
I'm going to get my real estate license. Something that I want to try
You
to.
got to talk about that. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to get my real estate license. I think that's something I really love. I developed homes. I built homes. I've did my house that I live in. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but I designed it from top to bottom.
I've seen some
They've
pictures.
shot some movies in my home. Like they shot the show Girls Five Ever.
Okay.
Tina Fey was on, you know, Peacock, I believe. Two episodes, 2 seasons they did. They used my house.
Nice.
The other night, another big group came and used the house to shot music videos at my house. But I built this house. I designed it from head to toe.
It's amazing.
I was flipping homes, so that's something else I taught myself how to do.
Nice.
I like real estate. I like design. I like people. So I think I'd just be good at it. And I'm just joined this real estate chat that I'm involved with. So I'm seeing deals go back and forth. It's getting me a little excited. So I was like, why wouldn't I get my real estate license? So that's something it's already happened. I got it this year, you know? I want to be a really, you know, really good boyfriend. That's another, it's happened, you know? I want to make moves in my relationships. I want us to start making content. So that's happened already, you know? She's my girl's a mental health therapist. She's fucking unbelievable, unbelievably brilliant. And she started making content as well. So I've already put up 300 pieces of content this year, you know? So those are some of the things that's gonna.
Content is currency. That was my favorite line.
Yo,
of the
content
podcast.
is currency, man.
That's a good one.
We're gonna get shirts. We own it. That's us, okay? That's something I've been saying a lot because I'm doing so right now. My marketing agency is something very important to me. So that agency is creating content for people. We have you can come in as I think I was telling you about this.
Yeah, with the ads.
We
and
handle your social media.
Yeah.
We handle every platform: LinkedIn, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. I think those are the major 7. I might be missing one, but all platforms we handle for you. Your social content, flat posts, quotes, whatever you want to do. We organize it. We plan out the calendar. You send us all of your content.
Yep.
We edit all your content. We chop it up into 15-second, 30-second, 45-second reels. Put all the words on it.
Yep.
Make them look cool. Put all the B-roll together with so your Instagram and social media is going to have content constantly. So a video, like if we do a podcast like this, we could chop this up and from
forget it.
doing video work, you can make 20, 30 clips out of this.
Exactly.
It's content enough for a couple weeks. So you're gonna see I'm stepping up my content game. I bought my own camera. I bought my own mics. So I want the world to learn more about. I feel I'm at the point. I've done a lot of amazing things. I've been successful in everything. Thank God. I gotta share this with the world. What am I doing? I'm not doing my part.
You owe that to the world now.
I owe it. Like you,
Yeah.
I didn't realize the guys like you wanted to hear my story. To be honest with you,
Of course.
I've been so down. I'm telling you, I've been in blinders, so head down. I haven't even thought about wow. I can't believe you told me you actually looked at the AM.
When you get somebody with 80,000 followers on Instagram, you don't think that person might respond to you, but you're not everybody's that person you think they might be. It's nice to see a genuine person that doesn't even. Some people act different when they have those followings, or they think that they've accomplished something that maybe you can't accomplish. And no, it's amazing to be.
Let's go, but let's spread that. I'm telling you, what I did, anyone can do. Anyone can do. I figured it out. That's what I did. I went, no hospitality. I got Playboy Club, Playboy, one of the biggest brands in the world, to contact me and say, hey, we need your help. We're struggling here. Can you help us? Like, they made me the president and we turned this thing around. Playboy Club went from 0 to 100 real quick. I brought in some amazing people.
That's still around?
Well, there were some issues at the end, but no, they're no longer around. But
You think OnlyFans has something to do with that? With a lot of the...
no. Well, Playboy is still around, the brand, but Playboy Club we ended up closing. There was some, internal management stuff. I ended up leaving the project, and after I walked off the project because of I didn't like the way they were going to handle business going forward, I built that thing. My team, we brought it from the dead to the Empire State Building.
That's awesome.
We were the hottest show in town. Saturday nights, people would be lined up 30, 40 deep trying to get into our place because we threw a great event, threw a great party. I told you how I put my heart, blood, and sweat and tears into everything I do. That was the best. Guess what? Ownership gets too smart. I was managing the restaurant and nightlife. They're like, hey, why don't you go handle nightlife alone? We'll run the restaurant. You're the same people who screwed it up in the first place. Why would I let you do that? My name's attached to this thing. Everything works as an orchestra. I've got it all going. These maniacs, we were doing so well, they thought, like, okay, now I could just do it on my own.
Yeah.
I said, hey, here are your keys back. We were the management company. That's what they hired us to do. Here's your keys. I left the project. How long do you think it took them to close?
A season, probably.
4 weeks.
Wow.
They couldn't stay open. We were the hottest game in town.
Wow.
Because guess what? I was living, breathing, and dying. I was there 7 days a week. Me and my partner, William Sonnet, we would put in 20 hours a day.
Wow.
Because my name was attached to it. I had to make it win. I wanted people to have a great time. They weren't willing to do. No one's willing to do that. So once that energy walks off the scene, you think someone's putting that's not a 9-to-5 job.
No.
Making something that I'm telling you, everybody thought was going to fail. It was on 42nd. It was in the worst spot. Whoever picked this place, it was the worst location you could possibly put a nightclub. And that's why I took it, because I said, if I could do it here, I could do it anywhere.
Right.
And I did it in the hardest freaking location in all of New York City. When everybody said, no, I don't want it, I took it, me and my partner, and we ran with it. And we crushed it. We put it on the map.
That's awesome.
We did a great job. And then was about to build my own place in the city. COVID ended up happening. And COVID stopped hospitality for a couple of years. We ended up doing a really cool party. I'm not sure if you've heard it. It was called Etiquette in the city. Well, if you haven't, you gotta look up this. We did that Sony Hall in New York City. I was with Sion, with great guys over there, and we created this dinner party experience. And I had show after show after show, dancing on stage. It was unbelievable. So I kind of created exactly what I told you I want to do here at some point in Long Island at some point.
It's really cool.
So I think we should do that.
I'm excited for the future, man.
But I got big goals, bro. What are my goals? Take over make an amazing impact on this world. It's already happened. That's what I did. That's what I thought this Global Healthcare Leaders Foundation that we're putting together. This is going to make impact on the world. I'm involved with a company called Cherish Health. Cherish Health is think about radar technology you could put inside of someone's home, and it could detect your blood pressure with no monitor in it. It's detected by radar. It just knows. It scans your body, 13 points on your body, and it could say, hey, you're having heart issues, your blood pressure's going up. Your parents are upstairs. One of them fell. They're old. They no technology. They don't wear a watch. They don't got to wear anything. You put it in the house. Boom. It starts working right away. Monitors whatever's happening in the home. That's a company I'm helping from Harvard and MIT in the Boston area. That's the type of guys that I'm dealing with.
Things that change lives.
Things that change, bro. This is what I want to do.
Change the world.
Let's go. Yeah. Well, we're gonna do it.
100%.
And I'm telling you, I'm hoping something you learned today, because I learned a lot from you, that you're super gifted. By the ability to pound the phones and talk to a million people, you've had so many experiences with people. Nobody can have these conversations anymore. Teach people how to have them, bro.
No, I love
people
that.
Need to hear your story. People that see you, I can see you have a great soul, you have great energy. You could teach these young kids work ethic, hard work, pounding the phones, and don't just, you said you're trying to go back. Don't talk about it, then be about it.
That's it.
Put it on video, man. Boom, every day. My guys on the floor, I'm pounding the phones with you. Let's go.
100%.
Let's rock.
You got to put those vibes out there. You got to spread that energy.
Put it on film. Put it on camera.
Yeah, of course.
Commit to it.
Yep.
Take one of these cameras to work with you, and let's go.
We just thought.
I bet you, bro, if you do that this year, you're gonna have the biggest years of your entire life.
if you show people the positive stuff happening in your life, that stuff here, like you said.
Why would somebody
pushes you
choose
so
you
far
for
forward.
mortgages over somebody else? Teach me really. Like, I would love to know.
Why would somebody choose me for a mortgage?
brother? I
besides
could
some-
choose anyone in the world. Also, I told you I'm getting real estate. I got to tell you about this company bid my listing, but that's going to help you. We have some stuff to talk about. But why would someone choose you guys for mortgages over anyone? Like, there's a million freaking mortgage people.
Yeah, just like anything in life, like value and relationships, in my opinion. Any bank or anybody you can go to, they could probably get you a good interest rate on your mortgage. All banks operate the same way, especially in a state like New York where we are. It's so regulated. You can't really give somebody what you want to give them. It's based off of the market, whatever the rates are, whatever programs that bank offers, and we're all pretty similar. So why would somebody go with me? I preach myself. They look at my reputation, my social media. They see me online. They see what I've done for other people and other families. They don't know, or they know by just looking at me and who I am and how my team operates, by seeing what we've done, because it's all over. They know they're going to get the best loan available. They know that the bank doesn't make up that program, that if they come to Dean and his team, no matter what happens, they get treated like family. And that's what, from my experience, that's how I've seen success in my business. You know, I pitch myself and how we can build a relationship with that person, not just for their mortgage needs right now, but for the future. And that's how you earn the business from their family, from their friends. It's by doing the right thing up front and not trying to say, I'll get you the lowest interest rate or I'll save you the most money. Yeah, that's important. People like those things, but people like to know who they're dealing with and they want to have a relationship with who they're dealing with.
Absolutely.
So I feel like, yeah, just personal brand again. It's who we are as people. And
at the
they
end of-
know that, right? They know the vibration right away if they want to do business
You
with you.
seem like the type of person that you're gonna do whatever it takes to get them the best rate, to get them the best,
No
deal,
matter
to
what
get them the
happens.
best deal.
Of course.
Like, you're not gonna ever put your name to something that's like, oh, someone was able to beat my deal.
Not even a chance.
This is the best at this.
Can that happen? Of course that can happen, but I'll always put my best foot forward from the beginning, no matter who it is in business. So
Well, that goes
that's
a
how I
lot
was
longer,
raised.
you know.
Yeah, of course.
I used to have a friend like that, the same way. Like, made sure here's the best opportunity, here's the best deal. I'm not trying to play games, and
That's it.
give them
From
all
the
the
beginning.
business, you know.
Yeah.
But listen, mortgage world is not easy.
No, it's not.
What do you think's gonna happen in next year?
I think something has to change. Hopefully, it's in a positive way regarding interest rates and inventory. Like, there's not that many homes available right now because people aren't selling because rates were a little higher. So I feel like and the Fed spoke. The Fed is who indicates rates. Well, not really indicates rates, but the Fed speaks about what's happening in the world. And then he said we're going to cut rates 3 times in 24, and then I think they said 3 or 4 more times the following year. So if that happens, it's going to create such an opportunity for people to now sell their homes because they know that when they buy a new home, they'll get a low interest rate. Mm-hmm. That's the problem right now. A lot of people are sitting on the sidelines because, I have 3% on my house right now. Why would I sell that house and take 7%? I'm going to pay 2 or 3 times as much for the same house. So that's why I feel like something
I'm gonna throw a little curveball on that.
something has to change. I
I'm gonna
feel
throw a little curveball on that.
Sure.
But if you buy a house now at the
Right.
high interest rate, knowing the rates are gonna come down,
I know.
you're gonna get a house at this level. When the interest rates come down, the house value is gonna go up. You refinance in 2 years.
I
in
love
3
that.
years.
You marry your home, you date the rate. That's been one of the most important
And now
lines that
rates
people
rates always change. You always get a better deal.
1,000,000%. So people don't realize, now because there is
because they're uneducated.
exactly they're uneducated. Realtors, loan officers, attorneys.
Here's your chance. Educate the freaking world. Get in these houses because when the rates start coming down, the prices of houses are going to skyrocket.
That's what you would think's going to happen. So like you were saying,
Unless there's a major catastrophe, we can't predict those things. But you can predict that equation would happen, right? That's what's happened in the past. Rates come down, houses prices go
up. Yeah. But there is an opportunity now because, like you said, you could negotiate the price. You could always refinance the rate.
Yep.
So listen, you gotta give and take a little bit of
And I
both
think
ends of it.
you're in a good market right now to actually negotiate prices.
Yeah, I agree with
First
you.
time in a while.
Yep. Well, people have had challenges. So some people have to get out of their situation. People have to move and shake right now.
I can tell you, we have a different problem. I think, unfortunately, they've kicked the can down the road. I think there's a lot of people are in foreclosure. I think we can't keep up with this economy. Everything is 40% higher. People aren't making 40% more money, so people are going to start losing and digging into their savings, digging deeper and deeper. And guess what? I foresee some tough times coming. If we keep that going, we've got to bring prices back down. We got to produce more. We got to encourage business. We got to encourage more, products so we could bring prices down. There was a shortage in supply, so that's what raised prices. But once prices go up, people don't want to bring them back down. So, but at the end of the day, everything is up 30-40%.
Everything.
And no one's making the middle class is not making 30-44%.
Well, that's the problem. There's like such a big gap from what they say now, from just public knowledge, that's what they're saying. That's why something has to change, because the middle class, has a hard time affording a house or going out to dinner. Everything's 30-40% more expensive. And if your income hasn't changed, you're going to be in debt. And consumer debt's the highest it's ever been right now.
We're going to have to work more.
Right.
You can't have to work a day job and a night job and a weekend job.
Yeah.
Some of us have done it.
Yeah, 100%. Well, listen.
If you want nice things, bro, and like I said, you want to keep up, you might have to work 3 jobs for a little while until things change.
You got to do what it takes.
Most people don't have that energy, so I hope they find it. I hope they get it, but this is what it's going to take to survive, man.
Well, listen,
survival of the fittest.
Yeah, and you've shown that. You've explained some of the stuff you've gone through, and when you see people the way they operate with their back against the wall, and they'll do anything they can to get where they want to be, work in all these different businesses and try to perfect them all, and that's how I want to control and be the best at everything. I want to be the best at everything. And yeah, I learned so much from this episode.
That's awesome, man.
I appreciate you again taking the time to had a lot of fun, and I hope we could definitely do this again.
I'm so happy to get a chance to know you.
100%. Again, content is currency, man. That's our thing.
We're friends, bro. Friends for life now.
That's it, brother.
All right? I look forward to supporting your journey. Anything I can help you with ever, my phone's always open to you.
Thank you so much.
The door is always open. And I hope people honestly look at this and hear what this guy's got to say. Not only in mortgages, watch him. He's about to take off.
Thank you, brother.
Let's go.
That's
Blessings, bro. 11-11.
That's it, 11-11.